Says I'm live. Ha ha! You kidding me? Are you kidding me? You've got to be kidding. You can't be kidding me. You cannot be kidding me. I was informed by my lovely wife of news that there's a hey, welcome. Hey everybody. Of news that they made a documentary apparently that has never before seen welcome never before seen Apollo 11 footage. And my wife said she was watching the news clip and it said, oh my gosh, the newscaster apparently said, this looks so good, it's like it was filmed yesterday. Not perfect quote, it's a paraphrase. So it said 1, 2, 3, now it says 1 again. I don't know how many people are here, but welcome, whomever, however. YouTube never tells the truth. And guess who else doesn't tell the truth? And the truth, I've been talking about the truth and lies a lot recently because it's very relevant to our day-to-day life. Guess who else doesn't tell the truth? NASA. I mean, maybe, but that's not the point. Humans. Why? Oh no. I hope that this isn't affecting things. Oh no. Was my audio jacked up that whole time? Somebody? There's at least one person here. I had my headphones still connected to my phone. Alright, cool. I hope the intro jacked. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We could understand. Well, that's good. I was kind of practically yelling, so. Anyway. Yeah. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks. Unfortunately, it's just the nature of streaming on the road. It's what works for me, and I know that means I'll never have 1,000 viewers. I mean, I already know I'm not that special. It's all good. But I hope to the select few that do choose to watch, 40 something minutes. It's 360 miles, 360 miles a week. And honestly, I mean, not honestly, I'm always honest. People that say they never lie. No, I mean, I really pursue humility and honesty and all that. So, anyway, I do hope that one day something like this could support my commute. I also hope that I don't always have a 360-mile commute each week. But whatever. Well, a lot of people have it worse than that. I know. I get it. Some people have to walk to work 15 miles. Okay, fine. Let's move on. So, the news, there's an Apollo 11 documentary, and apparently it is unveiled. They found, or they always had the footage that they said they lost. Well, a lot of people are going to say that they've just been spending those billions of dollars to reconstruct everything. And, yeah, okay, maybe that's what it is. Obviously, that's going to be a hypothesis. And by the way, we need to distinguish, and by we I mean everybody needs to distinguish the difference between the word theory and hypothesis. So there's conspiracy hypothesis, which is really what people are talking about when they say it. There's really no such thing as a conspiracy theory it's a misnomer beyond all misnomers because it implies that it's not necessarily true, and theories are tested. They indicate that they're not absolutely true, but they're the best we've got kind of thing. That's how a theory works. But a hypothesis is untested, and that's really the criticism and the pejorative, so to speak, that people are meaning to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, what they really should be saying, if they wanted to be vernacularly, that's not even a word. You get it. You get it. If they wanted to have proper vernacular, they should say, that was a really nice Mustang. They should say, you're a conspiracy hypothesist. Yeah, and now it's back up to 3. So, hi, welcome. I don't know who's been here, who's left, whatever. But the news, yeah, and that was just a little tidbit, little extra information for you, little education. You probably already knew all that. Doesn't matter. So, I saw just pictures. I don't know anything about this story. I just know there is supposedly never before seen footage from the Apollo 11. It's all color. It's crystal clear. So if it's legit, which I suspect it is legit, and I'll explain why. If it's legit, that means that it's been in protected storage, more protected than the National Archives, the Smithsonian, anything you could imagine. 40 years. I'm sorry, 50 years. 50 years. Do you know how much degradation of film takes place? I mean, that was protected. Like, I don't even understand. Because you've got films that they can't even digitize from the 1930s. I mean, I know that's a lot longer. I get it. Yeah. Conversate. I mean, it's fine. I'm telling you the possible theories that I think are likely. So here's one theory. It's legit. Let me explain why I believe that. It's because of what I've been saying all along. It's all, I've been saying, it's all a psyop. I'm not just blowing hot air with a crazy idea. What I'm trying to say is that year after year, since the beginning of time, there has been a narrative to destroy the narrative. Well, what are you talking about? I'm saying that since the beginning of time, there's been truth delivered from God. Eat everything. You've got the whole garden. Everything, except that one right there. You can eat from that one. You can eat it. You're not going to surely die. Obviously, that's not how Lucifer sounded as a serpent, but you're not going to surely die. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. This is a repeated pattern throughout history. Over and over and over again. There's fact, and then there's lie. Fact, lie, fact, lie, fact, lie. And usually what happens is when nobody's looking, the lie is told. Well, what do you mean by nobody's looking? I mean, dude, Lefroy. And I don't have a perfect Scottish accent. I don't. I wish I could. I look up the commercial for Lefroy. I'm trying to say it the best I can, but I'm not any good. Laphroaig, I believe, is how it's spelled. That is the stuff. Laphroaig Select. Yeah, it's the stuff. And that's my opinion. That's not the gospel truth, obviously. You know, with the name of gospel bearer, I do feel slightly a burden. No. It's Scotch. Feel a burden to make sure that I clarify and distinguish between truth and speculation. This stream is all speculation, obviously, which is really all we can do about the moon and history, for the most part. Welcome, number 5. Hadn't hit number 5 in a little while. I appreciate that. So there's a narrative, there's fact. Okay. So then, when people get old, when they're no longer a trustworthy service? Wow, that was a weird word. When they're no longer a trustworthy source, that's the word I was looking for. Then people start out with the lies. Do you know how shortly thereafter Jesus' disciples had passed away, that they were coming up with theories about swoon theory, his disciples stole his body from the tomb, all these like crazy theories. Did you know that none of those happened right away? They had to wait. Le Freud. Yeah, if you listen to The Real Dude, yeah, I can't read all that, but I'll check it out later. Oh, just watch the commercial though. The dude, oh, he's got this deep, rich accent. It's awesome. So, it got me so distracted. Anything, guys. You've got 9/11, you've got the Holocaust, you've got the Crusades, you've got all these different elements of history that get distorted after the fact. Not in the moment, though. Like, people will someday say, if they're not already, I've said this before, but people will someday claim that there were never even 2 towers in New York City. They weren't even there. That the whole thing was made up. They never got hit by a plane. All that stuff. Somebody's going to say that someday. And people are going to believe them. Do you know why? Nobody would ever believe that. Are you sure? There's a lot of other historical events that have been questioned. And I think it's all part of the same thing. Well, ought we try to seek out the truth? We should be very careful. Because have you read 1984? Do you not understand the nature of rewriting history and who's behind rewriting history and who's behind distorting the truth? Who is the father of lies? I think I would be very cautious about just tossing history out of the window and saying, oh, this is all lies, it's all lies. Maybe. So I did a stream this morning and I was talking about the truth. And I'll repeat these questions for the sake of anybody that missed it. It said, in some cases, we might not be able to establish the truth, but there are 3 questions that you can ask yourself regarding a debate, regarding a conflicting detail, whatever it is. Okay? First and foremost, Jeremiah 17, Psalm, I believe it's in 118. I think it's 118:9, 118:10. Again, I'm really not good with quoting, but I know it's in Jeremiah 17, and I know it's in between Psalm 118 and it's in the middle of Psalms. It's the middle verse of the Bible-ish, but it's better to put trust in God than put your trust in man. That's the verse. Yeah, thank you. Better to trust in God than put your trust in man. It's all over the Bible. It's obviously logical because God is truth, and it's obviously best to trust Him. Well, how do you do that? Well, Scripture. Yeah, lean not on your own understanding. Absolutely. How do you do that? Scripture is the obvious answer. Well, how do I do that? Okay, but here's my 3 questions. Is it true? Does it matter? And what can you do about it? So, let's take this new news. News is such a funny word. You know, it's north, east, west, south. You ever notice that? News. It's a funny word. I noticed that when I was a kid. I was like, northeast, west, south. Is it news because it's all over the world? It's kind of weird. It's just a weird thought I had as a youngin. All right, let's take this as an example. We've got this news. There are now never before seen clips of the Apollo 11 mission. Let's ask this question. Is it true that they were from the original mission? The answer, I don't know. That's everybody's honest answer. Anybody that says otherwise is probably lying to you. They're speculating. So the best answer to that is I don't know. Let's move on to the next question. Does it matter? Are you going to be an astronaut is the follow-up question to answer that question. Because I would claim, and I could be wrong, but I would claim that the does it matter part is no, unless it's directly impacting your life. And it's not directly impacting your life because you already have the truth from the scripture that says don't put your trust in man. You already know. Determining whether or not the moon landing was fake, or determining whether or not this footage is fake or real, it doesn't matter. You already know they're lying. Yeah, but you're gonna vote. You're gonna vote the way that you're gonna vote anyway. We're not going out on a vigilante, like I'm gonna go take some people out kind of thing. I'm not gonna do that. I don't recommend anybody else to do that because it won't solve the problem. What's the problem? The problem is sin. You can't trust people. You get it? I hope you get it. I know. I thought the same thing. That yeah, if we find out that this is all a lie, it'll really affect how we support NASA, how we fund NASA. They'll shut it down. If we find out it's all a lie, we can get it shut down. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. Does that mean that I have a massive external locus of control? I lean external. I do, because of the sovereignty of God that I believe in. And as a citizen, I feel very insignificant, and I trust in the sovereignty of God way more than I trust in my ability to vote or accomplish anything. I believe that I can do more in prayer than I can ever do with vote on my paper when I vote. Doesn't mean I abdicate my responsibility to try and be a good citizen, but we also need to abide. John chapter 15. We definitely need to abide in the vine, guys, because that's going to matter way more than complaining or even trying to defund NASA. Why are we putting more energy in trying to shut down NASA? Call them out for their lies. Why aren't we fighting tooth and nail, whatever in the world that even comes from, tooth and nail? But why aren't we fighting to the death for the shutdown of Planned Parenthood? Why isn't that the passionate cry? Why aren't we fighting them, the murderers? Well, because NASA's killing people. What, the Challenger explosion? I mean, I think Planned Parenthood has a little bit larger body count than, I don't know, every horrible thing ever in history. It's like, and we're not fighting to the death against that? Guys, yeah, let's argue and waste all of our time about flat Earth, round Earth. Let's argue and fight about NASA and whether or not we went to the moon. Am I a little passionate about this? Because I think it matters way more. Yeah, I'm pretty passionate about it. It's frustrating when you realize that we are just following a lie. And again, my three questions. Is it true? Does it matter? What can I do about it? And the question of what can you do about it? If it's a lie or not. I mean, there's so much stuff. There's not much you can do about it. That point can be argued. I get it. There might be something you can do about it. Maybe another question on top of those questions is it worth it? Maybe that's a good question to ask. I tried to limit it to three questions because it's easy to remember. Is it true? Does it matter? Does it matter does link to the idea of is it worth it? That's what does it matter means, is it worth it? Until I get 1,000 subscribers, I don't have super chat ability. I appreciate the thought. For now, I have a link in my description. My name is Devin Jump, just in case you're like, Well, I saw paypal.me/DevinJump, but I don't know who that is. That's me. I used to be Devin Jump on YouTube, but I had originally been verified as a Truth Gummy Bear. And there's too many Truth Bears. There's too many Gummy Bears, and I was just like, it's just like not good enough. And I did that because of my last name, and because I care about the truth. But it just, I was like, what's a name that I would literally feel comfortable legally changing my name to? Yeah, we will do that fight. I'm gonna put it I'll pin a comment to this video, and I'll do maybe a whole stream about what we can tangibly do. I live in a city that there are no abortion clinics, I believe 60 miles, but at least 30 or 40 miles. There's no abortion clinics in this city. Pensacola, Florida, no abortion clinics. The one got shut down due to bureaucratic red tape. I'm telling you, there's a Christian. I have to imagine there's a Christian in the governmental local government here. There's just like, oh no, you guys didn't fill out your form X45K PQ, and I mean, yeah, we gotta close you down. I mean, but we did fill it out. I just don't know where it went. I mean, this is my speculation on how this came about. I think it's hilarious. So anyway, dude, we could do something, and that's the fight. That's something worth fighting. Here's another fight worth fighting. Okay, and Owen's talked about this. I mean, it's all over the news. The women draft, the female draft thing. I have 2 daughters. I have 3 kids. I have 2 daughters, and do you know how enraged most of the time I'm just like, fine, just not fine, but like when bad stuff happens in the news and we're gonna do this now, I'm just like, okay, but I'm not gonna abort, and I'm gonna tell everybody in my life that it's a horrible, terrible thing, so on and so on, and they're gonna do as the world does. I don't expect our country to operate like a Christian because our government is not a Christian. Does that make sense? However, see, abortion's not going to impact my family personally. Hypothetically, if I were to choose to adopt in the future, in a roundabout way, an aborted child that could have otherwise been an adopted child of mine, I get that link. But what I am saying is that it really came real and hit home, so to speak, when I saw the female draft. Imagining my daughters being forced to sign selective service, I'm actively looking into ways that can be prevented. Some type of, if it goes to the point of being a conscientious objector, I mean, we had a conscientious objector as president of the United States. The one they called the first black president as a joke. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. The one that sucks blood and murders a lot of people. Well, why would I say the name? Do I need to say any more? It's okay. It's okay. You know. You get it. The vampire that we had as president. And no, I'm not talking about Obama. I'm not. I'm talking about the other black president. You get it. You get it. Look it up. Look up how many presidents were conscientious objectors. Oh, now we know who he's talking about. Whatever. But I'm telling you, I will find a way, because I'm principally opposed. I don't know if I can biblically support. I'm looking into that too. I want to study that. I want to be able to conclusively, emphatically, explicitly show that the Bible is clear on women not being at war. but I just don't have it on the top of my mind. I'm looking. And if you find verses, post them in the comment section. But that's something that we should be fighting. We should be fighting against selective service for females. We should be fighting against Planned Parenthood. We should be fighting against the things that are going to make an impact for a better world. Whether or not NASA is lying, and Owen's right. He heard it from a Jewish friend. I know Hebrew. I'm not fluent. I've studied a lot, and I can say that the word is not nathah. It is, the word in Hebrew is nasha, which is distinctly a different word. It is. So it's just different. It's different. I wish I could come up with a really good metaphor, but the whole NASA means deceive thing is just, it doesn't. But it's not even important. It doesn't even matter. Obviously, they didn't pick it for that reason. That's just silliness. You just started talking a lot quieter. Well, I'm not like driving 60 or 70 miles an hour anymore, and I feel like I can lower my voice, and I don't have to yell at you. I don't want to be yelled at. It hurts my feelings. I'm serious about fighting these fights. I want to fight the fights that matter, that make a difference, right? I read 2 Timothy 2:23 and was convicted about even talking about flat earth or any of that stuff because it's right. I'm not here to try and start fights, but I do want to fight the good fights, the ones worth dying on a hill for, righteous ones, right? There's some things that aren't righteous. Here's the thing. I think Owen said he was going to stream tonight. I don't know on what. And I'm sure Vox has already started, or he's about to. And anyway, what doesn't need to happen, and it doesn't mean we need to like really, we don't really need to bash Owen for this or any of that, but just be aware that sometimes we can get in a habit of being gossipy, and that's not doing anybody any favors either. Now, when you look up the definition of the word gossip, and you'll understand what I'm talking about, likely. And all I'm saying is there is a time and a purpose for calling someone out, right? But on the other hand, it needs to be very clearly understood that there is no such thing as a good person. He says that regularly, but it's almost like it still baffles him that there's bad people. Does that make sense? What I'm saying is, these psychopaths and sodomites, they're acting exactly as you would expect without Christ. It's not actually confusing. Well, how does that explain all those good people out? No, you just don't know about everybody's life. Yeah, man, see ya. You don't know what's going on in everybody's heart, in everybody's life, okay? And sometimes we get in this habit of wanting to give, we want to put like this categorical level of badness on sin. And I discussed this in another one of my streams. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. Violation of God's law is sin, and it is what it is. And yeah, in regards to our earthly justice system, we do need to punish people accordingly to the severity based on earthly standards. But when it comes to God and salvation, all sin. It's all the same. It's all offensive to God. But everybody's wicked until they have Christ in them. There is a distinction hypothetically, but you have to take your mind out of time to call somebody a wicked person, aka a vessel of destruction, as the Bible talks about. That distinction of a human being is kind of a big picture, outside of time label. because there are what is this dude's name? Ricky Cruz, Eddie Cruz, Eddie. The dude that was he was a gangster in the 50s, I believe, and he I thought his last name was Cruz. He did a lot of really terrible things. He got saved in prison and became like an evangelist. And he's not the only one. There are people that would be labeled by our understanding as wicked people, right? But God is capable of saving anyone. We know this. Okay, we have plenty of examples. Paul put Christians in piles and burnt their bodies. It's like, yeah, it wasn't babies, but it was Christians. It was people who claimed obedience to Christ, obedience to God, and he killed them. And what happened to him? He got saved. 2/3 of the New Testament. Righteously, by the hand of God. Okay? God can save anybody. So it's not that we write people off. We should pray for the most wicked psychopaths and sodomites that exist. Pray for your enemies. Pray for those who despitefully use you. And that shouldn't be like, oh wow. I mean, it's just, that shouldn't be the focal point of the story of Paul. That's all I'm saying, of how he was crucified. I mean, Stephen got stoned to death. That doesn't need to be like the focal point of their story. How they were martyred, what they did, the truth they spoke, the Bible. That's important. It's like, anyway, we'll move on. But anyway, these horrible people that are on our planet that were like, oh no, they need to just die the most gruesome death. They probably will. But there's not. Let me put it this way. The saving grace of God. This is very important. So I'm glad hopefully 4 people at least are here to hear this. And maybe more will hear it after. This is so important. This is what makes it good news. This is why I would be okay changing my birth certificate to gospel bearer instead of my legal name. I just lost somebody, hypothetically. Maybe it's just slow from the other person that left earlier, but whatever. Listen, this is the good news. The fact that a Hitler, the fact that a Schminton, somebody with the last name of Schminton, you get it, would be saved, that is good news. Because what that means, again, is that anybody can be saved. That God is powerful enough, his saving power is strong enough to cover any sin. Because what you have is you have people day after day making an excuse, that's what it really is, but they don't think that's what it is, saying, God could never save me. I've just done too much. I've done too. And I know I'm making light of this, and it's. I lost you for about 3 minutes. Ugh. Well, I hope it got recorded. Hopefully, I didn't get any disconnect notices, but they're fun. You just start talking about the gospel, and YouTube gets freaked out. Anyway, the fact that anybody is savable is the good news. Okay, that's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because if somebody is not saved, okay, well, isn't there an unforgivable sin? Yes, but you're lacking perspective. It's not that there's a committable sin that is unforgivable. It's that after everything is said and done, rejecting Christ is the unforgivable sin. Well, I thought it was a whole lot more than that. And yeah, the thief on the cross is one of the most important aspects. There's so much significance. Yeah, there's a whole lot of importance to that story. So anyway, I'll repeat. The fact that a Schmenton, you get it, a Schmenton would be saved or could be saved, that would be good news. Anything apart from that would not be good news. Okay? Or a Hitler, or anything or anyone. Okay? Anybody that's done any horrible thing. An abortion doctor. It's Nathaniel. What rhymes? What rhymes, Nathaniel? What's a vampire that has had a lot of people killed that rhymes with Schminton? So, any vampire that lives off of adrenochrome. You get it. No, the fact that anybody like that, an abortion doctor, anybody could be saved, guys, that is the good news. You're not. I know it's code. It's like it's Morse code. Not really. I have no idea what I just communicated. I probably just said, I like happy bar mitzvah cake. That's what I said in Morse code. Anyway, I need to go because I'm home and my wife's waiting on me. The gospel, guys, is gospel. It's good news because it's good news because God has the power to save anyone. Okay, that is good news, and we need to be fighting the fight. We need to be praying for our enemies. We need to be praying for the sodomites. We need to be praying for the psychopaths, and praying that God will touch their heart. Either take them out of the game, because he can do that too. He's done it before. He sent bears out of the woods to maul a bunch of gangster kids, youths, little kids, and they were like 12, 11. He sent 2 mama bears out of the woods, destroyed them all because they were making fun of a man of God. You don't think he'll do that? We need to pray for it. I'll look at it. I'll check it out, Nathaniel. I might have already. I just can't remember, but I'll check it out for sure. Guys, bears are in the Bible. They destroyed heathen children that were making fun of a man of God. It's good stuff, guys. Our God is so good. He is just. He is righteous. And he has the power to save anyone. Okay? We don't need to play Punisher. All that is lies. Marvel lies. Okay? Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I can speak passionately about what I believe in because I know it's true. And it's good news, guys. Hey, sing along. I see you changed your name. I recognize the picture. Yeah, so thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Yes, I have a link. I have to get to 1,000 subscribers to do a super chat situation. That's possibly never going to happen. But I am going to keep on doing what I do. Streaming, speaking the truth. And I will grow. I will learn. I will share. What I care most about is discipleship. And I also, you can check out all my other stuff. I explain who I am, the About Me video, all that good stuff. This video's title, I didn't do it honor really, but hey, hopefully you get the point, the most important point. It's the gospel. See ya.